Hello, everyone. Welcome to the final unit of Reading Explorer. Through this semester, we have explored some really interesting topics, haven't we? Protecting our planet, delving into human history, and even using science to solve crimes, right? Okay, today we are shifting gears and diving headfirst into the world of longevity. Imagine this. You have stumbled upon the fountain of youth, and the opportunity for eternal life is now within your reach. By some miraculous means, you have unlocked the secret to immortality. You have the ability to live forever. What would your ideal existence involve? For me personally, my ideal life would be a continuous journey of learning and exploration. Just imagine traveling the globe, absorbing knowledge from every culture, and bearing witness to extraordinary advancements like the colonization of other planets. I mean, I would love to spend decades residing in different countries, immersing myself in their languages, traditions, and cuisines. Perhaps I would even become a master of various skills, a musician in one city, a painter in another, and a medical doctor in a third. If this were possible, the prospect of living indefinitely sounds absolutely incredible, doesn't it? However, let's pause for a moment and consider whether living forever might become a bit, well, monotonous, boring. Take a moment to think about all the challenges that come with living forever. Essentially, the inevitable loss of loved ones and the perpetual cycle of grief echoing through time could greatly impact my emotional well-being. Additionally, even if we lead healthy lifestyles, our bodies are not designed to endure forever. The constant wear and tear could result in chronic health issues and a decline in both physical and cognitive abilities. Just imagine living for centuries, but being confined to a bed, unable to explore the vast world you so desperately long to see. Sad, right? So let's return to reality. While the concept of living forever may be fantasy and real, there are certainly ways to promote a long and healthy life. Perhaps the true beauty of life lies in its impermanence, which makes every experience precious and irreplaceable. Now, with the idea of long life in mind, let's jump into our first question. Question 1. Where in the world do you think people have the highest quality of life? Think about it for a second. When you imagine a great place to live, what comes to mind? Maybe somewhere with the beautiful landscapes like Scandinavia or New Zealand. Sounds pretty great, right? But hold on. What about access to quality healthcare? Perhaps a developed country like Japan or South Korea has a higher quality of life from that perspective. These countries are known for their excellent healthcare system. So, what do you think so far? Does a great place to live need beautiful scenery or excellent healthcare? Exactly. There are many factors that contribute to high quality of life. In fact, some countries like Japan or Switzerland excel in both areas. These countries have a strong focus on healthcare and social programs and are often top happiest places to live lists. But what about factors like diet and physical activity? Maybe a country with a strong emphasis on healthy eating and culture of moving might also be a strong candidate for longevity. Or it could be a place with a strong sense of community and a slower pace of life, like a small village in Italy or Costa Rica, right? Small villages with strong communities and a slower pace of life, like those found in these places, often get mentioned for fostering longevity. There is definitely something to be said for the stress reducing benefits of close knit social circles and a relaxed lifestyle. However, Some people might argue that having access to educational and professional opportunities can also contribute to a fulfilling life. Perhaps a vibrant city with a strong sense of community like Copenhagen or Montreal would also offer a high quality of life. Sure, these cities might have a faster pace, but they could also provide a wider range of career options and cultural experiences. See how many different factors come into play when we think about a good life. There is no single answer. It really depends on what's important to you. Makes you think, right? Okay, now that we have explored some ideas about places, let's agree that life keeps changing, and so do our lifestyles. Thus, our grandparents' lives might have been different from ours in many ways. Let's explore. Question 2. Do you think your life is better or worse than your grandparents? In what ways? Let's see, for example, thinking about technology. We have so much technology today, right? Technology keeps us connected and informed. But on the other hand, maybe it also takes up a lot of our time. Consider this. Maybe your grandparents had more free time for activities outside since they were not constantly plugged into screens. That could be a factor in physical activity levels, right? Another way to look at this is that travel is definitely easier and more affordable these days. We can explore new places and culture more readily. But hold on, thinking back though, despite not being able to travel more frequently, maybe our grandparents had rather closer bond with their neighbors and felt more supported by their community. Could that be another difference? Think about it. I mean, generally speaking, elders often have a wealth of knowledge and stories to share. I'm sure most of you know someone special, grandparent or a grand aunt, grandmother who lived to be like in the 90s or more. Imagine that. Think of all the things she must have seen and experienced in her lifetime. I'm sure they had many interesting stories to tell. So let me ask you the following. Question 3. Who is the oldest person you have met? Now, even if you haven't met anyone super old in your own family, you might have heard about amazing people around the world. Did you know, for example, that there is a woman in Japan who recently celebrated her 128th birthday? Fascinating, right? Japan is known for having a high proportion of centenarians, people who live to be 100 years or older. Think about that. That woman have definitely lived through a lot of history. Can you imagine changes she witnessed? From horse-drawn carriages to bullet trains, from handwritten letters to instant messaging, from flickering candles to bright LED lights. So all this talk of long life leads us to the big question. Question number 4. Why do you think some people can live to a very old age? What is the secret? Is it just pure luck? Or there is something more to it? Think about it. Maybe it is a combination of things. Good genes might give you a head start, but what about a healthy lifestyle? Perhaps positive attitude and a strong social connection play a role too, right? Here is the surprising thing. While genes do influence our lifespan, research suggests that 70 to 80% of aging is actually caused by environmental factors. That means we have a lot of more control over our longevity than we might think. Here is another interesting idea. Can you guess the difference between a lifespan and a health span? It might seem like the same thing, but there is a subtle distinction. Well, a book called Outlive, The Science and Art of Longevity by Dr. Peter Attia argues that a long life isn't just about how many years you live, but also about your lifespan. Simply, if lifespan is the total number of years you live, Health span is the number of years you live in good health, free from major disease. For example, did you know that cold water exposure, like taking a cold shower or a refreshing dip, could potentially slow down aging and boost your immune system? It might even help improve your mood and fight off depression. Sleep is another critical factor for health. Getting enough shut eye between 7 and 9 hours is a fantastic way for your brain and for your heart. During sleep, your body releases a special substance that helps your immune system fight out viruses. The book also claims that our healthcare system often focuses on treating problems after they arise. But what if we could prevent them in the first place? Let's think about this in this way. Imagine your favorite plant. If you water it regularly, give it sunlight, and remove dead leaves, it thrives, right? What else? Health span isn't just about physical health. Emotional health also plays a big role in living a long and healthy life. Strong friendships can reduce inflammation and slow down aging. Laughter is powerful too. It reduces stress hormones and can even help people who's had a heart attack avoid another one. So remember, surrounding yourself with positive people and activities can significantly impact your well being. But wait, there is more. Dan Botner, a researcher who studies longevity, has visited communities around the world known for their residents' extended lifespans. These places, which we have called the blue zones, like in Sardinia, Italy, a mountainous region, based on his findings, he identified 9 key habits that contribute to a long life. Let's take having a purpose, for example. Imagine waking up every day excited to tackle something that matters to you, like a job you love or helping out in your community. Studies even show volunteers tend to be healthier and happier overall. Another big one is moving your body. Now, these folks in the blue zones aren't necessarily hitting the gym every day, but they do find ways to integrate movement into their daily lives. Maybe it's gardening, walking, or chasing their grandkids around. Whatever it is, they keep active. And of course, speaking of staying healthy, stress can be a real downer. That's why finding healthy ways to chill out, whether it's meditation, spending time in nature, or listening to music, is super important. These are just few examples of the Blue Zone's secrets to a long life. Another researcher, Susan Pinker, points out that women in the developed world live 6 to 8 years longer than men. Why? Pinker explains that genetics only account for 25% of longevity. The other percentage comes from lifestyle factors, particularly strong social connections. People in the blue zone live in close knit communities where they interact with each other frequently. They also tend to have large extended families who live nearby. More importantly, the researcher emphasizes that social interaction is more important than positive thinking. Pinker reports a study by Julian Holt, who found that social connection was the strongest predictor of a long life, even more important than factors like diet and exercise. Pinker also argues that social media interaction does not have the same benefits as face to face interaction. Face to face interaction, she claims, releases a cascade of neurotransmitters that promote feelings of trust, reward, and lower stress levels. Therefore, Pinker concludes that social connection is a biological imperative, a kind of built in human need that protects us from disease and decline. All right, this unit titled Living Longer will explore the topic of longevity, how and why people are living longer than ever before. We will be reading articles and even having some discussions about healthy habits and the future of aging. By the end of this unit, you will be able to identify and discuss factors that contribute to longevity, learn about the different cultures around the world and their approach to healthy living, analyze the pros and cons of an aging population, and finally, express opinions on the future of aging research and technology. Thank you, and see you for the rest of the lesson.